diamond from within. BFF, we rise above, stronger together, we shine with love. Faith unshaken, hearts on fire, fearless souls, we're reaching high.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the BFF Empowerment Podcast. I am your host, Blaque Diamond, and with me today on the Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast, I do have the privilege of speaking with Miss Michelle. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Diamond. I really appreciate everything.
Not a problem. Do you mind telling the listeners a little bit about yourself before we jump in?
Sure. I currently run 7 businesses, and we just started the Resiliency Blueprint. It is a life guide to being seen, safe, and heard. It basically is the 6 steps that I went through when I was at my lowest, going through quite a bit of trauma, a divorce, and pretty much how I picked myself back up and, have created this speaking engagements as well as coaching program, real estate, and just able to, overcome adversity to create wealth and stability for my family.
Oh, wow. I want to be like you when I grow up. 7 businesses? Wow. That is amazing. How do you manage it? And you did mention a family. So how do you juggle all of that with also, having a family?
A really good calendar. So, and I'm not lying here, a really good calendar and time blocking. The majority of the businesses became out of a need. We moved from where I grew up, followed my husband for his job, my husband that I'm married to now, for his job in a totally different city, totally different part of the state. We live in Pennsylvania, and I was working at the local hospital, and he actually asked me 2 questions. He said, "What do you want to do with your life, and what are your hopes and dreams?" And I went, I don't know. Nobody asked me that before. I have no clue. Like, everybody always wanted something from me. I didn't know I was allowed to have hopes and dreams,
yourself. Yeah.
Right. No, that everyone says that's selfish. You're as a woman, and I grew up in a society, again, I'm going to date myself here. I'm 50. So in the 80s, 90s, 70s, 60s, you were told to be married, have kids. You didn't really have too much of a career. That was just kind of, not mainstream then.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, hey, I've always liked real estate. I love the fact that, you can take these condemned homes, you can totally change the dynamic of the city. You can renovate these homes and give them to first-time home buyers who are just starting their own families, and really contribute. So actually, that's what we started. And we started with a condemned home in the city for $10,000. We worked nights and weekends. He had 2 jobs. I had a job. And then after we were done, we rented it to a woman with children, which just seemed, apropos at the time, kind of full circle.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't stopped. So one business turned into 3 businesses, turned into, we always have kind of 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Mm-hmm. So, I created a need for a management company to manage these properties, because the management company that I had previously took about $20,000 in lawyer's fees just to extricate myself out from underneath of them. It was a pretty bad situation. And so started that, and I went, oh, crap, I don't know what I'm doing. Am I allowed to say crap? Okay.
Yes.
I was like,
yes. This
I
is
don't know what I'm
unfiltered,
doing. You
authentic,
know?
unfiltered.
All right, cool. Because yeah, I never know. I'm just like, but yeah, and I just started the business out of a need. And so far, everything that I've done I've seen a need and I filled it. So the
Mhm.
Resiliency Blueprint, this book, we have 6 children between us, my husband and I. He has 3, I have 3, so we were a blended family. Our children are older. The youngest is 26, out of the house having children of their own. And
Mhm.
we kind of looked at ourselves and we're like, well, now what? How else can we help? What can we do? So
Mhm.
we actually started fostering, and we had a little 5-year-old boy who was nonverbal, lots of trauma himself, ended up
Mhm.
being autistic. And, how can we advocate for him? Well, I needed to parent differently. I needed to
Mhm.
parent him differently than I parented my children because, again, he's coming to us with a lot of trauma.
Mhm.
He doesn't have a voice, so he needs someone to be there for him and speak for him and understand that his trauma behaviors are not, defiance. They're because a need's not being met. And what is that need? So that actually had me looking at my own traumas when I
Mhm.
was growing up and what I'm dealing with myself. And I went through a lot of therapy. Um, I went through a lot of, oh, now I understand the decisions that I'm making now were influenced by this. And I have a
Mhm.
choice. I'm, 30, 40 years old. I don't have to be ruled by those traumas, by those decisions.
Mhm.
And that's where the Resiliency Blueprint book came about. And then again, how can we help? What can we do? Um, and what would I have wanted as a young adult going through the crises that I was going through? What are the things that I would have wanted? What are the things that I would have listened to? And that's
Mhm.
kind of where this coaching program and, this business has come from. So all
Wow.
the businesses are out of a need. We've seen a need,
Yes.
try to meet that need.
I'm like, when you were just talking, I was just like checking off in my head. I'm like, that's exactly why I've created all of the businesses that I have. I saw a need for these different things and I established them. But what I really took from, just hearing what you were saying was your husband. He is definitely your partner. Like, I love that you guys are in this together.
Absolutely. And let me tell you that's a mind shift in itself
Hmm.
because I grew up surviving. I was in
Hmm.
survival mode. Like, even when I married, like the society, who is they? But anyway, that you marry, that you continue your life with who you're comfortable around, what you know, because what you don't know is scary. So, my first marriage, I married and continued to perpetuate everything that I knew and
Hmm.
I was exposed to as a child. So that was being the scapegoat of the family.
Hmm.
That was being told that I was worth nothing. I tried committing suicide when I was twice when I was younger, and then once when I was, married to my ex,
Hmm.
because I felt and was made to feel as if I was worthless.
Exactly.
So going from surviving to, and I hate that tagline, thriving, but the other side to abundance,
Hmm.
it really takes the people that are around you. And, I had some very strong women who introduced me to those concepts. And my now husband continues to reinforce that it is an abundance mindset. It's not an or, it's not a
Hmm.
but, it's an and.
Wow.
You can have this, you can do this, you can desire this
Hmm.
and it's a total different, when you say, well, I can do this, but Well, now you're an excuse. Anything
Yes.
after that but is an excuse.
Yep, and under means the
So
first part of it, so it basically makes it null and void.
exactly. Absolutely.
Anything that
Exactly.
follows that null and voids what you said before but.
Exactly. And he said this one thing to me, and I actually have it written down on, again, so calendar and post-it notes, like my desk is full of them. See, he said this, and I have a post-it note of this because I look at it constantly. I'm like, you can have results or you can have excuses, but you cannot have both.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, and
Wow.
even the but in there, I'm like, can you not have the but and have the and? He's like, no. He's like, because the and, there's no and in that. You either have this or you have that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, that's cool.
I like that. I like that. He sounds very, very wise. I myself tried the whole, blended family thing, and unfortunately for me, it didn't work out because the person I was with wasn't a partner.
Oh,
They were looking for somebody to take the weight off of their shoulders. It wasn't, oh,
oh,
we're going to come together and help each other. It was, oh, okay, you can do this, isn't that? Okay, come on, now I don't have to do it. And it was sad because I built it and we dated and then, we had a plan, a path, or at least I thought we did. They were just telling me what I wanted to hear, I guess. Even though, that wasn't, but it was yeah, we tried it and I was just like, you know what? And even after we moved in, because before that, it had been such a long time since I lived with a guy because of my first experience, which was domestic violence. And
mm-hmm.
after that, I was like, you know what? I'm never living with another guy unless we're married or on the verge of being married. So I dated. He had his place, I had mine.
Mm-hmm.
But with this situation, we dated 2 years. Okay, now we're at the point, okay, let's see what it's like to live together before we go down the road of marriage. And the moving in part is what curved it. So, and I kept telling him that. I said, any bad habits you have, anything that you're not really doing that you're telling me you're doing, it's going to show once we
Yep.
move in together. You're not going to be able to hide it. So I suggest you work on what you need to work on while you're still living by yourself, because I'm going to see what you really have and have not been doing. And sure enough, within 2 weeks, I saw that he was not the person that he portrayed himself to be. And even then, I was like, I don't think this is going to work. And he was asking for chances and improve and do this. And I'm like, yes, I can give you chances to improve, but for how long are you going to be able to keep it up? Because if something is not truly a habit for you, you're not going to be able to stick to it.
Not in
And
2 weeks. No, it takes at
yeah,
least what, 90 days for for something to become a habit.
yes, especially a good habit. So
Mm-hmm.
literally, we lived together. Well, before I ended it, we had been living together 5 months. Within that 5 months, I know we started over 3 times because he would make the improvements and then eventually go right back to the same old thing. Again, another chance to make the improvements, go back to the same. And it was just like, okay, I'm done. It's just no point. Like, I can't make you into the person you need to be. I can't. This is something you have to do, and it's obvious you're not willing to do that. So I can't do it.
And I admire you for having that strength to be able to say, hey, this is what I need. This is what needs to happen because, you're creating that boundary of this is what needs to happen. This is what I need to move forward and sticking to that because a lot
Hmm.
of women, I myself included, I didn't even know what boundaries were. I didn't
Hmm.
know how to do that. And when I did try to set those boundaries with my ex, it was met with triangulation, and
Hmm.
it would become even worse.
Hmm.
So I, very kudos to you. Please with your, please, like, I can't stress it enough to your listeners on how much the boundary isn't for them. Is
Mm-hmm.
it for the other person? It's for
For
you, and
you.
it's protecting your peace. And I am so thankful that you were able to say, this is it, and I'm moving on. And then you followed
Yes.
through with it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it was stressful for me because I'm like, I'm already a single mom by myself. I already know how to do that. I've been doing that for 7 years. Like, I'm not coming because we both were single parents. He was a
Hmm.
single parent to two, I was a single parent to one. So we were coming together to do the whole blended family. But it became me being a single parent to my children, my child, and his children, and him. And I'm like,
Oh, no.
what is there in this for me? You're not helping me. You're adding to my load. You're not lessening it. Like and I've made it very clear from the beginning that that is not something I would tolerate. But as long
Hmm.
as we were living separately, he could pretend and be on
Right.
board. And yes, I'm going to do. So when we saw each other was, oh, helping with the kids and doing activities and did, all of this because we weren't in each other's faces every single day and could actually see
Right.
what was going on until we moved in.
Absolutely. And even, having the blended family, it has its ups and downs. We came together, my husband and I came together when his youngest was 13. And he had two boys and a girl, and I have two girls and a boy. So, at 13, she now isn't the baby of the family, the only girl, because
Mm-hmm.
again, there's this dynamic of, she's the baby of the family, she's the only girl, she would get doted on and all of that. I'm like, now you're one of six. And
Mm-hmm.
all of
Mm-hmm.
the crap that you're trying to pull right now at 13, I've already been through with my two girls because my two girls are much older. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, so I became the, big bad stepmom. And yep. And of course, him and his ex-wife were going through, all of the co-parenting things, and she then tried moving, a state away, and there was all of that extra drama
Yes.
um for that. So nowhere am I going to say that blended families are easy. They are hard,
Mm-mm.
and they have their own sets of challenges. But I will say now, we've been together 10, 11, hold on, 13 years at this point. We've been together. We've been married for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say now that, there are aspects that are better than others.
Mm-hmm.
His ex really isn't a part of anything. Again, his all of our kids are older. The youngest are 26
Mm-hmm.
and having children of their own. But it just, there was a point in time when I thought all six would get along. And you have these fantasies, not, I don't want to say fantasies, but you have these expectations. Yeah, don't have expectations,
Yeah, and what
because
we
when those
found out too with our situation, all three of our children are on the spectrum, but they
okay.
show up in different ways. So that was a chore in itself as well. But the whole point was, yeah, I was having to navigate that on my own. It would have been different if I had an active participating partner who was
Hmm.
sharing in the responsibilities and not leaving all of that to me. Outside of working and bringing in a paycheck, he didn't do anything. No cleaning, no managing the house, rarely cook. It was none of that. All of that was on me, plus me still working and doing everything else myself. I'm like, I already know how to do all of that. Like, that was the whole point. Nobody wants to stay single and stay a single parent. You come together, not that you're looking for someone to take the load off, but you're looking for someone to help share the responsibility so you don't have to do it alone. But there's no point in being in a relationship if you're still doing it all on your own.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You are not there to parent the other person.
And that's
Absolutely.
exactly what I felt like I was doing. Because if I didn't say this needed to be done, he wouldn't do it. I had to
Uh,
micromanage a grown man. Like, oh, okay, it's obvious the floor needs to be swept. Why do I have to tell you that that has to be done? Obviously, we need to cook dinner because we need to eat. Why do I have to tell you that has to be done?
Yeah, I will say, and I am the excuse me, 100% there with you. And I say every day that I'm so grateful for my husband now because he is an actual partner.
Mhm.
We do things together. We still have our foster son, and it's been about 3 years now. And every morning, he he gets up and we kind of like have the morning routine down. He gets up, he gets him up and ready while I get breakfast, and then I get the dogs and I do like the morning stuff, and then he gets ready for work, and we come together to get things done. And
Exactly.
even in the businesses, so he works full time and then he sometimes works as an adjunct professor at one of the colleges. And then I have the businesses. And before I retired from healthcare at the hospital, I also worked at the hospital. So anything that he can do, he'll say to me, "Hey, you look a little overwhelmed," or, "What can I help you with today?" And if it's in his wheelhouse,
Mhm.
because we both complement each other in different ways, he's much more computer spreadsheets, that kind of stuff, where I'm much more hands-on.
Mhm.
I'll be like, "Hey, I need this done." And he'll be like, "Okay, here, got it done. Here you go. How can I help you next?" So,
Yes, that's what I was looking
just,
for. That's what I thought I
yep.
was getting.
I mean, absolute partnership, even to the point where he will say to me, you haven't done, I have horses, and there's times where like I just will say, well, I don't have time to go see them. He's like, you need to make time.
Mhm.
He goes, "I'll take care of our little one, this Saturday, you go." Like, he'll make me have my own time so that I am able to recharge and reset. And that's the kind of person that you need next to you.
Hmm. I was like, yeah, at this point, I felt like I'm done. I was like, I'm tired of starting over. I'm tired of dating. I'm tired of getting to know people, and I'm tired of just being disappointed. I was like, you know what? My focus now is just going to be on me and my son. I'm about to be 37 years old. I'm tired.
Oh, girl, I met him when I
I
was
wanted more
37.
children. I wanted like,
Listen,
and now I feel like that's not going to happen because I'm not going to be
oh
40 and
no.
saying I'm pregnant.
Oh, oh, honey. No, listen, I met him at 37. I met him at 37. I didn't want to be married. I wanted to live my life on my own. I was going to be the most independent person I was ever going to be. And listen, I was not going to be in any relationship. Do you want to know
Mhm.
how I met him?
Oh.
So, okay. Again, I'm dating myself. So the dating apps, when they first came out, like OK Cupid and Match and all that
Mhm.
stuff. Okay, listen, I just wanted to get myself on, if
Mhm.
you know what I mean.
Mhm.
Like, there was no relationship I just wanted to, get
Mhm.
myself taken care of. Okay. So, yeah, I met him on a dating app, and we met for coffee at a local diner, and I kissed him and said, "Follow me."
Oh wow.
And listen, everything else is history. So
Wow.
one chance meeting, I was 37 years old, one chance meeting of, nope, I'm independent. I'm doing things on my own, and I'm never going to ever, be in a relationship with a man ever again. I'll never depend on a man ever again, has turned into the life that I live now. So don't discount yourself. Don't
Mhm.
discount what can be. Keep open, you know, and know that you are worthy. You are worth that life. You are worth absolutely to get what it is that you desire, because it can happen.
Yeah, I just don't want I especially now the whole idea. I still kind of feel I guess I have to grieve that process of just not being able to be a mom again. Because I just don't want to be 40 saying I'm pregnant. Like literally,
Oh
my
God,
son is
no.
7. I don't want, we were together 2.5 years. So that's basically 2.5 years I had to have another child that's gone. And now I'm about to be 37, and now I'm looking like, okay, my son is about to be 8. I would have to meet somebody, first of all, now, get to know them and to a point where we're talking about having a child and getting married. Like, how old am I going to be? No. So I think I feel some type of way about that opportunity, just no longer being. I mean, even though people say, "Oh, you can still have a child," 40 and 4, I don't want to.
No, no, no,
I
no,
don't
no. Well,
want to.
yeah. I mean, I was 40 when had my hysterectomy. I I went through some really, really bad. I had a couple surgeries, and then needed a hysterectomy. So that that grieving process of, like you were saying, oh, I'll never be a mom again, even though I didn't want to be a mom again. I didn't want to. I don't want to be 40 and pregnant. God, no,
No.
absolutely not. But
Yes.
the fact, but the fact that now I couldn't had a whole nother emotional level to that. And then you go into surgical menopause and, all of the other hormones and things that go with it. So yeah, at 40, I had a hysterectomy, and at 40, well, wait, at 47, no, 46, I'm 50 right now. Yeah. At 46, I say invited, we were placed with a little 5-year-old boy.
Hmm.
So, and we will end up adopting him. His situation is such where, we originally went into foster care for reunification only. We were like, listen, I'm not going to adopt. We have enough children. We have enough grandchildren. Like, we're not adopting, but we want to give the families the time, the support that they need to
Hmm.
be able to,
Care
go
for him.
through therapy, get the help that they need, and then, become reunified. So that was our goal. And it became pretty clear very early on that was not going to be in the cards for this little boy.
Hmm.
Um, and we can't, I'm like, there's no way that with his diagnosis and the things that he has going on, that, he would be bounced around in the foster care system for years until he just aged out. So we were like, okay, we are open to be an adoptive family. So here I am at 50, and he's 8. So I've got a good 42 years on him.
Oh wow, my son's about to be 8 in December. And that's what I was looking at. And even my son asked me about adopting, and I'm like, but I don't want to be a single mom again. That was the whole point
Hmm.
of doing the family. I didn't want to be a single mom.
Hmm.
And to adopt a child would mean, yeah, I'm inviting myself to continue being a single mom. And that's not what I want. So I
Then
told
don't
him,
do
I
it.
said, we can do play dates and, we can, but no, I guess you will be the only kid living at home. We can schedule play dates for you to have people to play with, and then they go home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. You have done so much. Like your life is just so you got all coming from all angles, like everything from businesses to fostering to, you know, second chance marriage to everything. Like, oh my goodness. I definitely want to be like you when I grow up.
Oh, I mean, there's always, I thank you for that. And, there's always a reason for something.
Hmm.
If our little guy didn't come into my life, I wouldn't have, faced and actually dealt with, some of the trauma and some of the healing that I needed to go through to become the person that can parent him, and the person that can hold space for other people, you know
Yes.
because of him, the book has been written because of him, this coaching program, and I'm on these podcasts because of him. um the other thing because of him is we've started a new business called OK Ranch.
Hmm.
It is for so how the best way that I can explain this is I've got 42 years on this little man. By the
Hmm.
time he's 42, I'm going to be in my 90s,
Hmm.
right? So, not a lot of families in these situations have the ability or the means to take care of, their adult children if after we as parents are in our older years or we're dead. to
Mm-hmm.
be quite honest. So where do our adult children go? Well, they're going to go in institutions. They're going to
Yes.
go in a house that probably has 5 or 6 other people that they may go to a day program, but more often than not, they're sitting on a couch in front of a TV,
Mm-hmm.
right? To live out the rest of their lives. So, OK Ranch, again, is born out of a need. It is a combination of senior living. We have all these senior living housing communities around the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a combination of that and a community. So we would be bringing in the services that they need, the medical services that they need, the day programs to keep them independent,
Mm-hmm.
not just sitting in front of a TV on a couch. And the ranch part of it is we would be fully sustaining. So we would have a CSA, so where we grow our vegetables, we sell our vegetables. There's coffee shops. There's a ranch part of it where there's equine therapy and activities and chickens and goats, and they're taking care of them. So it gives them a purpose
Mm-hmm.
in their life while still maintaining that community, that independence, for our adult children, while we at that point are either very, very old or we're dead.
Wow,
Um,
that sounds amazing. And I'm not even a senior yet, but that sounds like a place I would enjoy.
right. And it literally is for, developmental disabilities, autism. It is for that segment of our population that just kind of gets pushed to the wayside.
Mm.
So that's actually the business that I'm working on right now.
Oh, wow. I
and
love
and
it.
none of that would have happened without us, um, having this little boy in our presence and him changing our lives. So he in turn is changing multiple other people's lives. So, I say this to you, don't don't count your desires, don't count yourself out at only 37, because from 37 to 50 and I know it sounds so old, because when I was 37, I was like, oh my God, 50 is so old. I never knew that my life would be as rich and fulfilled and as meaningful as it is now. At 37, I was in survival mode. I was coming out of a divorce. My kids hated me.
Mm.
I was the day that I left my ex-husband, I was on the floor being beat by him and my kids.
Wow.
So, you don't know what the next 10 years is going to hold for you. So I just encourage you, and I encourage everyone to just be open.
Yeah, I definitely say I'm not against, dating again. I'm just not looking for it because I've just been
Hmm.
so, and it's been my whole life though. My whole life has been nothing but trauma and overcoming and evolving and growing through. And it's always been like I've always been surviving one thing after the next to the point where I'm just tired. I just
Hmm.
want to be at peace. I just want to focus on, giving my son the healthy life that he deserves, the happy life that he deserves. And if someone comes along later on, then that's fine. But if not, I'm not searching for it. I'm not, just pining away for it because I'm at peace right now.
Hmm. Well, I would actually love to give you and your readers a copy of my book, because it is going through those phases, exactly what you're talking about. Um, it's finding your safe harbor, healing the wounds, and then you're able to rise with power. So I would love to give
Ooh,
you and your listeners a copy of my book,
I
for
would love
free.
that.
And let me see. Actually, I will connect with you after the podcast and give you the link, so that then you can send the link out.
Okay, I would love that. Definitely. I'm always about, learning. Reading is one of my best pastimes. That's what I love to do. So, and what format is your book available in?
So it's currently on Amazon. It's in paperback, hardcover, and then it's Kindle.
Mhm.
But what I'll do is I'll send you the PDF version so that you wouldn't have to purchase it through Amazon.
Okay.
And you can give that also to your listeners free of
Ooh,
charge.
love it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And before we get into our next segment, is there anything else you would like to share? Any websites, links to your books, anything that you would like to leave listeners so they can reach out to you?
Absolutely. So I am available. It's the resiliency-blueprint.com. And that has links to the book. It has links to our coaching program. You can see more about OK Ranch and what that all entails. And we are also on Instagram at, let's see, I think it is Michelle Rogers. Hold on one second. And then also on Facebook.
Thanks.
And I believe Facebook, we are. See, I don't typically go on myself. Okay. So Facebook, it is Michelle Rogers / resilience author.
Okay.
And Instagram, it is Michelle Rogers.
Okay.
And that is resilience author.
I'll definitely be sure to put this info in the show notes. All right. Well, we have come to my favorite part of the show where we play What Is She Thinking? I will give you 5 random phrases. You will tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. You don't have to think too hard about it. Just
What is she thinking? What are her thoughts? Quick, fast, no blinking. What do you got?
all right. So your first question is going to be empowerment is.
Empowerment is freedom.
I love it. It definitely is freedom. Your second one is going to be give me coffee with my.
Oh, cream.
All right. Your next one is going to be my favorite book is.
Oh, I don't have a favorite book. I read tons. Okay, so off the top of my head, I'm gonna say The 1 Minute Millionaire. One side of the book is is a story about a mother who lost her husband and is fighting for custody of her children and how she does that. And then the other side of the book is very much for the analytical mind. It actually goes into step-by-step things of what you can do. So I like books like that. So I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I would say it's one of the ones that changed my life.
I have to look into that. All right. So your next one is going to be one piece of advice that I would give someone who is interested in getting into realty would be.
One piece of advice that for someone that would get into real estate.
Yes.
So relationships, connections. It's not about the deal. It's not about the money. It's not, and this is to get into anything that you want to do. It's not about the actual item or thing you're pursuing. It's really about relationships. It's about cultivating. It's about who are the 5 people that are around you, because that's going to totally set the stage for what's to come.
I love it. All right. So your last one is going to be on a Sunday morning, you can find me.
Oh, on a Sunday morning, because we do slow roll Sundays, SRS. It is a time that, we spend with family, but the very first thing in the morning, you are going to find me curled up on the couch under a blanket with my coffee watching the Sunday morning show. And then once that is done, then everything else is family.
Oh, wow. I love that. That just sounds so peaceful.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And thank you, everyone, for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Be sure to check out the podcast on all major podcasting platforms. You can also find us on social media. We are BFF Empowerment Podcast on Facebook, Threads, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. If you would like to be a Women on the Rise spotlight guest on the Women on the Rise segment of the BFF Empowerment Podcast, do send an interest email to bffempowerment@gmail.com. Be sure to check out the website at bffempowermentpodcast.com to keep up to date with all the latest episodes and also to check out our blogs. There is a blog post that goes along with every episode that kind of give you a written detail of what was discussed. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for listening.